Hi guys, good morning. How are you? Today I'm going to show you the uses of the verbs regular and irregular. Remember, this is an introduction of our new topic, passive and active voice. This topic we are going to see it when we are in the classroom, but this is a good introduction. In this case, I'm going to show you how to use regular and irregular verbs and the uses of the two verbal times, past simple and past perfect. Well, let's start. In this case, a regular verb, what is? It's a verb that in simple past and in past participle is going to put an ed as you see in both case. For example, love, you know what is love as a verb, amar. In simple past is amé, amaron, amaste, etc. And in past participle is going to be the same. If you see, I add an ed but the meaning is going to be different. In this case, in past participle, the translation is amado. Yo he amado, tú habías amado, ellos habían amado, etc. Work, trabajar, worked. The pronunciation is going to change with ed, worked. Es trabajé, trabajaron, trabajamos, etc. And in past participle is going to change to trabajado. But remember, in this case, we're going to add ed at final of the verb. Play is the same in present, jugar, past simple, played, jugué, jugaron, jugamos. In past participle with ed, jugado. Good. Now, in this case, an irregular verb, the function is the same to do an action, but in this case, in simple past and past participle, is going to change according to the verb. For example, sleep in presente, dormir. In simple past is going to change slept, the pronunciation change. Remember, present, sleep. In simple past, slept. Okay, and the translation is dormí, durmieron, dormiste, etc. And past participle, dormido. Ring, sonar, rang, sonó, sí, sonó, perdón. And rung, sonado, o timbrar, también es timbrar. Timbrar, timbró y timbrado. ¿Ok? Sit in present, sit in simple past, and sit in past participle. In this case, these three words are going to be the same, but the meaning is going to change. In present, sit, sentar. In past, sit, sentó, senté, sentamos. In past participle, sentado. Okay, guys, this is the uses of the verbs in this case. Now, we're going to talk about past simple. What is past simple? As you know, past simple are the action that we did in the past, exactly. In this case, we're going to use the verbs, obviously, in simple past. We cannot use the verbs in past participle because the meaning are going to change. For example, students completed the exam. If you see the verb is in past simple, or I can use in past participle, no, in this case we can't use past participle because the translation is going to change. For example, los estudiantes completaron el examen. This is in past simple. If I change the meaning, maybe you can say los estudiantes completado el examen. If you see, this is not the correct way to use the verbs in past simple. Now, if we are going to talk about negative form, remember, we use the auxiliary did. Did is going to use for all personal pronouns. I did, you did, he did, she did, he did, we did, you did, they did. And don't forget that in this case, we have to use the verb in present. Why the verb in present? Because we're going to use an auxiliary that is in past. So you can't use, in this case, we did not play it. No. If you use that, the sentence is bad. Okay? Now, if we're going to use a question, remember, in this case, we're going to change the subject. In this case is we, in this case is you. We're going to change. The first position is for the auxiliary did, late. You put the subject and the verb in present or in infinitive. Good. Now we're going to talk about past perfect. What is past perfect? The past perfect is a tense that is used an action before another action, but in past. This part is very, very important, but in past. For example, we have here, this year, 1492. We have here the other, 1810, and we have here the present, 2020. This is one example. Cristobal Colon had arrived to America before Colombian independence. If you see, Cristobal Colon arrived here in the past. The Colombian independence was in this date, past, but we're in the present. You see, an action before other action, but in past. Well, to use past perfect, we have to use two things. In this case, we're going to use the auxiliary had, as you see here, is the same that simple present. Had are going to use for all personal pronouns. You see, I had, you had, he had, she had, it had, we had, you had, they had. And in this case, what is the meaning of had? It has two meanings. Is tener, the past of the verb tener, or haber. We're talking about past perfect. In this case, is haber. In past is había. For example, Charles had gone at football field many times. If you see, had is the auxiliary and gone is the verb in past participle. Charles is the subject. In this case, in Spanish, said, Carlos había ido al campo de fútbol muchas veces. If I change, for example, a verb in past, Carlos había ir. You see, if I use the verb go in present, it's not possible. For example, we're going to use it in past. Charles had went. Carlos había fue. You see, therefore, we can use verbs in simple past. The correctly way is to use gone. Why gone? Because this is the past participle. In both times, in past simple and past perfect, we can use both verbal. You both two kind of verbs. For example, irregular verbs and regular verbs. In this case, we can use whatever, and the meaning obviously is going to change, but this is according to the sentence that we're going to work. In this case, ninth graders had worked very good all this term. Grado noveno había trabajado muy bien todo este periodo. You see verbs in past participle. This is a regular. In this case, we have an irregular verb. Is possible. My pet had eaten all its food. Here we have another verb, another regular verb, sorry. I had learned all of this game. You see, we can use whatever, regular and irregular. Now we're going to talk about the work to do this week. Remember, this work is only for verbs. In this case, we have to classify according to if it's in present or is in past. You have to take all of these. The second point is very easy, it's very similar to the first. You have to do a little list using only these verbs, no more. Only these using in past and past participle and the translation in Spanish. Remember that the translation I explained you. The third one is this crossword. This is, oh, sorry, is this crossword? And you have to use this sentence to complete. In this case, these spaces means to the word that you have to use. For example, the weather was great. The sun all day. We're talking about the first across. So the first across is here. Maybe it's shine, shine. Ah, yes. So in this case, you have to complete here shine, the verb. Okay? Remember that we're talking about simple past. So shine is in present. The question is, what is the past of shine? Is shown. S-H-O-N-E. Okay? And you have to complete all of these, only using verbs, no more. In this case, are conversations that you have to choose the irregular verb. What is the best option? Remember that not all verbs finish with ed, and we are talking about irregulars. This is a little clue to complete this. And in this case, we are talking about adjectives. That's all. Okay, guys, that's all my explanation. Remember that if you have question, my email is mrsuescc@fmsnor.org. If you have some questions, I'll be attending for my email, and don't worry. Okay, guys, that's all. Bye bye.